Hello, everyone, and welcome back to an encouraging word. My name is Jeremy Henderson, and I am blessed to be the pastor of the Butler Church of the Nazarene right here in Butler, Missouri. And today, I'd like to lead us in some reflection on a difficult topic, trust. More specifically, trusting God when you don't quite understand what He's asking you to do. You know, one of the things I've learned in my life is that it's really easy to ask God to guarantee success before you obey. And you know, really, that's not truly faith. Because faith, it always involves risk. Faith means that we obey, even when we don't understand. For example, forgiveness. It doesn't seem like a great idea before we do it, but it's actually one of the greatest tests of our faith. You see, when someone hurts us, it's not going to feel right to forgive that person. It is not going to appear to be the just thing to do, probably, but we know that forgiveness is the right choice because God asked us to, regardless of whether we understand it or not. So let me see if we can take a look at this issue of faith from a different angle. Do you remember when you were a kid and your parents told you to do something that just didn't make any sense to you? I mean, really, does every teenager really need to take a shower every day? And the answer is yes. But seriously, now you're able to look back with 20/20 hindsight and understand your parents' perspective. And believe it or not, that's the way it works with the Lord sometimes in our lives as well. So, faith is doing what's right, even when it may seem absurd, when it seems like it may cost us something, when it seems counterintuitive. Proverbs 3:5 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding." Why? Because we oftentimes don't know the whole picture at play in life, but God does. See, the Bible gives us a great example of this in the story of Gideon in Judges chapter 7. Gideon took 300 Israelites to battle 135,000 enemy soldiers. The odds were 450 to 1. God had the soldiers take torches, trumpets, and clay pots into battle. That command seemed pretty ludicrous. But then God told Gideon to put the clay pots over the torches so the light couldn't be seen at night, and then to go surround the enemy's camp. So here's the deal. God's instructions were something like this. Gideon, when I tell you to, blow the trumpets, break the pots, let the torchlight suddenly shine out in the darkness. It will look like a huge army is surrounding the camp. It's going to cause mass confusion, and Gideon, the enemy soldiers, they're going to end up fighting each other. Well, Gideon trusted God, even though what God had asked him to do made no sense. The Israelites, they blew their trumpets, they broke their pots, and they revealed the light from their torches. And the enemy soldiers, well, they woke up in shock. They started fighting each other instead of the Israelites. And because Gideon did what God told him to do, even when he didn't understand it, even when it seemed ludicrous, the Israelites won the battle. Sometimes the Lord asks us to do things that just don't quite make sense to us. But when we trust God and express our faith in Him through our obedience, even when we don't understand, God will move in ways beyond our comprehension. You see, just like Gideon and his soldiers, you can't live by faith without risk. But God sees the big picture with 20/20 vision. You can trust what He's asking you to do, friends. So as I bring this devotion to a close, I've got one question for you. What is your greatest fear when you are asked to obey something that you don't understand? Give that fear to the Lord, friend, and let Him fill your heart with His perfect love, a love that casts out fear and empowers faith-filled steps that will lead you into victory. Friend, thanks again for joining me for another encouraging word video devotion. I hope you've been blessed by it today. And I hope that you'll join me this Sunday at Butler Church of the Nazarene as we worship together at 10:30 a.m. We'd be blessed by your presence, and you will quickly discover that God loves you and that you belong at Butler Church of the Nazarene. God bless you, and have a fantastic rest of your week.